Hello, English 11. We are continuing with clauses. Things are getting more and more difficult as we look at these. So, we need to look at the directions here. If an item is a sentence consisting of only one independent clause, write IND on the line. If it is a fragment consisting of an dependent clause, write DEP. If the item is a sentence consisting of both an independent and a dependent, write IND or plus DEP or DEP plus IND in order to show the order of clauses. For example, after the snow fell, this is a fragment. Okay, it's a dependent clause. We had to leave the party because the room was so crowded. Right here, okay, is going to be a independent clause. Okay, because the room was so crowded is going to be our dependent clause. So in order to follow the directions, we end up with IND plus DEP. Although the competition was rough. Okay, notice this doesn't make sense. This is going to be a dependent clause, but it's technically a fragment because you cannot have a dependent clause all by itself. So you are going to have dependent on this line. Daisy drove the yellow car out to her cousin's home in the country. So we have Daisy drove the yellow car out to her cousin's home in the country. So Daisy drove the yellow car is going to be dependent. Out to her cousin's home in the country is going to be dependent. So IND plus DEP. Since Beverly's voice is strong, she won the lead in the musical. Here, this can stand alone, so you're going to have independent. Since Beverly's voice is strong, cannot stand alone, so that's going to be dependent. So you're going to have DEP plus IND. Jeffrey likes music that was written over 300 years ago. We have Jeffrey likes music, and then we have that was written over 300 years ago. Jeffrey likes music stands alone, so that's going to be our independent. That was written over 300 years ago, cannot stand alone, so that is going to be our dependent. So we're going to have IND plus DEP. Going to the bottom, in exercise A, which items were fragments with the answer DEP? Write the numbers of those items on the lines below. Then complete each item by adding an independent clause to the dependent clause. Write corrected sentence after the line item. Okay, so we have an example, after the snow fell, and then we have after the snow fell, we had a huge snowball fight. So we should have here 3. Okay, and so if we look at this, okay, we know that number 2 was dependent all by itself, so we have number 2, although the competition was rough, comma, let's see here, although the competition was rough, Caleb won the wrestling tournament. You want to go ahead and finish those other 2. Continuing on to the next page, we have page 157, and we're talking about kinds of dependent clauses. So these are going to be important if we look at them. We have adjective clause, we have adverb clause, we have noun clause. So we need to remind ourselves exactly what kinds we are going to have here. We also have the relative pronouns. what the reasons why we want to make sure that we remind ourselves exactly what is an adjective, what is an adverb, and then what is a noun. Okay, I usually just put a really quick reminder. I know that a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. An adverb describes, verb, an adjective, or an adverb, and an adjective describes a noun or pronoun. So an adjective clause is a dependent clause that is used as an adjective. An adjective clause modifies a noun or pronoun. It tells what kind, which one, how many, or how much. Gonfalon is a word that I'd never seen outside of this book. What kind of word? That I'd never seen outside of this book. Adjective clauses are usually joined to the main clause by relative pronouns, such as who, whom, whose, that, and which. A clause beginning with which is set off by commas. A gonfalon is a banner that is hung from a crosspiece. Which banner? That is hung from the crosspiece. The word, which is Italian, isn't used much these days. This tells you that if you look at it and you see these commas around it, if you took out that clause, it's not necessary, it's just giving you extra information. If you took it out, you'd still make sense. So the word isn't used much these days. So which is Italian is just giving you extra information. It's just telling you that the word is Italian. An adverb clause is a dependent clause that is used as an adverb. It modifies a verb, adjective, or adverb. Adverb clauses tell where, when, how, why, or to what extent, and under what condition. When I saw the word, I had to look it up. When did I look it up? When I saw the word. Adverb clauses are usually joined to the main clause by subordinating conjunctions, such as if, because, although, as, when, where, since, before, and while. If the adverb clause comes before the independent clause, use a comma after the adverb clause. A noun clause is a dependent clause used as a noun. Noun clauses may be used anywhere in a sentence that nouns can be used. If you can substitute the word someone or something for a clause in a sentence, it is a noun clause. Subject, what the word means puzzled me at first. Something puzzled me at first. So remember, we want to be able to see if we can substitute it, as it directs there. So direct object, the dictionary explained what the word means. The dictionary explained something. Object of a preposition. I'm no longer confused about something or what the word means. Predicate noun, a banner is what the word means. A banner is something. Usually a noun clause is joined to the main clause by words such as who, whom, whoever, whomever, that, which, what, when, how, where, why, and neither. Write adjective, adj, adv, adverb, or noun to identify each bold-faced clause. Sometimes an unfamiliar word is explained by how it is used in a passage. Okay, this is describing explained, so we have A, D, V. When is it explained? How is it used in the passage? If the context of a word doesn't make its meaning clear, a dictionary will help. Okay, so remember we have adverb clauses here. Okay, will help if the word, okay, so we have if starting out here, so this is going to be an AEV. An old story may use words that are no longer in daily use. What is this giving us information about? The words, so it's describing a noun, so we have an ADJ. What a word's means may change over the years as well. What a word means, okay? This is going to be in space of a noun, remember? Because if we say something may change over the years, so we're going to have a noun clause. Another complication is that a word may have different meanings. Okay, we need to have a noun after this in order for it to make sense. So that is a noun. So another complication is that, okay, a noun may have, a word may have different meanings. Kinds of dependent clauses. We're continuing with this one here. In each sentence, underline the dependent clause. On the right line, write ADJ, ADV, or N to identify the clause. One tool that helps you learn about an unfamiliar word is a dictionary. Okay. One tool is a dictionary. That helps you learn about an unfamiliar word. What are we talking about? If you sit down with a novel and a dictionary, you can refer to the dictionary often. Okay, so if you sit down with a novel and a dictionary, you can refer to the dictionary often. That's going to reference, an adverb. Anyone who sits down with a novel and dictionary is an unusual reader. Who sits down with a novel and a dictionary. Okay, describing anyone, which is a pronoun, so we have ADJ. How a word begins and ends often gives clues to its meaning. How a word begins and ends often gives clues to its meaning. So this is going to, we can replace this with something often gives clues to its meaning. So we have a noun there. For example, since amorphous ends in OUS, it is probably an adjective. Okay, we have that. We have since, and that's going to be our adverb. In each, going down to B, in each item, underline once the dependent clause. If it is an adjective or adverb clause, underline twice the word it modifies. If it's a noun clause, write S-O or P-N to tell whether the clause is used as a subject of a verb, direct or indirect object of a verb, or object of the preposition or a predicate noun. Okay, first we need to find our dependent clause. Myra looked as if she were really surprised. As if she were really surprised. Myra looked is on its own. Okay, how did she look? Okay, if it's answering how, okay, we are going to be looking at, underline the word it modifies twice. Ask whoever is on the beach to run for help. Whoever is on the beach, okay, is going to describe ask, which is our verb. So this is going to be adverb. Okay, and this is going to be an adverb as well. All right, so you want to take the time to finish these 3 sheets, and we will be continuing with a new packet tomorrow.